All right, we're live here, seventh inning stretch here. I'm Darren Breyer. We're about to get started here. Big show on tap for you. Friday baseball show here. We're going to get into the Blue Jays a little bit. Can they hold on to the AL East? And the Braves and Orioles, are they going to make a return next year? A lot to get into. We're in September baseball, people. And what in the world happened in Houston this week? Let's get into it right now. Seventh inning stretch. All right, we're live here. Like I said, seventh inning stretch. I want to bring up the standings right here in the East as we get going here in it. As you can see, Blue Jays holding on to the lead is 3 right now as we enter play here on a Friday night here. Little baseball action along the way. The Blue Jays, can they hold on here in the AL East? They got a 3-game lead currently on the Yankees and 3.5-game lead on the Red Sox. The Blue Jays bullpen has been absolutely pathetic since mid-July. I don't know, folks. Can they hold on? I believe in the offense. I have some people like my guy Logan Stone that does not feel exactly the same way as I do when it comes to that. But I believe that they can hold on, that they're going to be able to get the job done to finish off the regular season, be able to get first place. Again, the offense to me is not the issue. The starting pitching is good enough. But when you have a bullpen ERA, my goodness, in the sixes, you can't win. You can definitely not win playoff games like that. You might be able to hang on in the regular season, but even that's going to be tough. So I'm curious if the Blue Jays are going to be able to have enough juice in that bullpen to be able to finish the job. The Yankees they're making their moves. I thought they were kind of dead. They're starting to make a little turner. They're starting to roll a little bit more, which is maybe not exactly what I saw coming in that way with it. We have Aaron Judge, Ty Yogi Berra for the most home runs, 358 in Yankees history. So he's making up his list. He's making his way up the all-time list in Yankees home run history. And then you have the Red Sox, who have been playing good baseball basically all summer, and I would say throughout the whole season. Then they find themselves a half game behind the Yankees right now. Like I said, the Blue Jays struggling a little bit, still playing solid baseball, but the Yankees and Red Sox have really been pushing them. It will be interesting if the Blue Jays do have enough to hang on, though. And their schedule down the stretch is 50-50. It's not the hardest, but not the easiest as well. They still play the Yankees and Red Sox one time. So we'll see if they're able to finish it off. Their offense to me, for a regular season offense, my guy Logan Stone says he has issues with some of the other players, but it's a deep competitive lineup. And what more do you want than that? A lineup that's going to compete every day, going to make every pitcher work to the best of their ability. And that's going to be a big sign as we get to the end here with it. Right now we have the Blue Jays up 5-1 over the Yankees as we enter the top of the seventh. So a big series this weekend involving these two teams to see if they can extend the lead if you're the Blue Jays here in New York, or if you're the Yankees and you can cut into that deficit. The Red Sox are on the road against the D-backs. D-backs are not going to be an easy team for them to beat on the road as well. So it will be interesting to see where the Blue Jays end up at the grand scheme of things here. But like I said, I still think they're in good position. Up 3, about 3 weeks left. I think I like their chances to hold on, but that bullpen is not good right now. Not good at all, and it is making me nervous with a lot of things. It is making me nervous that they could actually get the job done. So if I have any Blue Jays fans out there listening to this, curious of your confidence meter in these teams. Like, where are you at with them? Do you feel good? You feeling good with where the Blue Jays are at? If you're a Yankees or Red Sox fan, or where are you at with them in this division? I still think the Blue Jays pull this off at the end of the day. But that bullpen to me is just it's scary right now, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing from them. The ERA reflects it, but their offense, I am a big believer in. I am a big believer in their offense, and so I would still take the Blue Jays to win in this AL East. This is obviously up to full full there with the category there, but a 3-game lead as we're looking at right now with the Blue Jays as we're entering the night. So I like the Blue Jays to finish it off, to win the division. This series will tell a lot right now. Obviously, if the Blue Jays can pull out tonight, they're at 4. Maybe they win another one here. At the very least, they'll be walking out of this series with a 4-game lead. And if you're Toronto at that point, you feel like you're in a really good spot as you enter the deep parts of September here. So I'll be interested with that race where things go. Are the Blue Jays able to finish that off? We'll see where that ends up. Speaking of the AL East as well, I was thinking of a couple teams that, obviously we had expectations for as we entered this year, and they haven't been able to sustain themselves at all. Probably two of the more disappointing teams in the entire Major League Baseball. You have the Orioles; they're 12 games under 500 right now, sitting 17 games behind the Blue Jays for first place. Excuse me. And then you have the Braves, 18 games back of the Phillies. They're 14 games under 500. But if I was to pick a couple teams to maybe make a push here towards the end, I would say the Orioles could probably make that push. The Orioles have some good young guys coming up still in their farm system. They have a couple injuries this year that really affected their start to the season. They fired the manager high. So just not overall what you were expecting from them entering this season. One of the more disappointing teams in the league. And then you got the Braves. The pitching just wasn't able to stay healthy. I think we've all had issues with Sale. Strider obviously came in late. Acuna came in late into the season. And they just haven't had enough. The bullpen has just not been what it usually is for the Braves. The starting rotation hasn't been what it is. And the hitting hasn't been timely. I mean, Olsen obviously is still solid, but I wouldn't say he's had one of his best seasons for the Braves. And then you have Acuna, who is a star, but you miss time. It's going to make a big factor at the end of the day. And so the Braves and Orioles really have been two of the more disappointing teams. But when I look at teams that next year who I don't know. I think they could make another run next year. These would be two of the top teams I would pick going into next year that have failed the most regarding those two teams, just because the factor of that they still have the talent there. Both these squads still have the talent, but they just weren't able to get the job done in any way whatsoever. And I don't know if I leave it up to you guys. Would you say Orioles or would you say the Braves are more disappointing? For me, it would definitely be the Braves are the more disappointing of the teams. That would be my thought with them. I just think the Braves they just haven't been on their game from the very beginning. And it's been, if I was a Braves fan, it'd probably got to be one of the more disappointing seasons in recent memory, even though you might have expected some of that with the Strider and Acuna coming in late. But I had my guy Tyler thinking they were going to be there at 100 wins, and they just haven't been able to do that this year. And so I kind of look at these two teams headed into next year with the Orioles and Braves and say, okay, these are teams that have potential to potentially make a run as we head in to next year as well. I want to get into who's hot, who's not here around Major League Baseball players. Juan Soto, absolutely on fire right now. 17 runs, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, 7 stolen bases with a 378 average in his last 14 games. George Springer, who I brought up last week as one of the bounce back players this year, he's having an unreal couple weeks as well with 18 runs, 6 bombs, and a 417 average. Trent Grissom, 12 runs, 17 home runs, and 16 RBIs, had a grand slam. I'll get him up here in a little bit as well. And then you have the Giants in general with Adames and Devers and Chapman. They've bounced back after their slow couple months here, maybe 2.5 months they've had. The Giants seem to have a little life now. All of a sudden, they're beating the Cardinals tonight 3-0. Kyle Tucker, he's bounced back here the last couple weeks as well. So you kind of look at it from, all right, here we are. There's a couple guys who I thought they were going to be, we're not sure. They've been red hot since that point there. Ellie De La Cruz, not so much. He's been a little bit off. Acuna's been off as well. Jose Ramirez been in a slump lately. So we have a few guys. Tatis got hurt, which is bad to see. Nobody wants to see that here. Pete Crow Armstrong slowed down a little bit as well. So some guys that are who's hot, not hot and who is hot around Major League Baseball there. So a few guys there as we kind of enter, like I said, the last 3 weeks here of Major League Baseball. As I get into the standings and we get into like what the playoffs would look like right now as well. Seattle, Houston, and that 6-3 matchup. Red Sox, Yankees, that would be fun. Mets, Dodgers would be fun as well. And then you got Padres, Cubs. So some really great first-round wild card matchups. And it's kind of interesting, right? Tigers, Blue Jays, Brewers as your teams that would be having the buys, which would be kind of a funny little thing. You would think most of those teams would be the wild card teams most of the time. But if I had to kind of look at this playoff bracket right now, that Dodgers, Mets, and the Yankees, Red Sox, that's as good as it gets. And then you're like low key Cubs, Padres, and then you go in division, Astros, Mariners. I mean, this would be a great bracket if we get to this come Major League Baseball playoffs right now. So I would really love to see that. We'll see where the Phillies end up. The Brewers, Phillies won 2 out of 3 against the Brewers this past week. Does that have to give the Brewers maybe running out of steam a little bit? We'll kind of get into that as this kind of breaks down. Obviously, I'm a one-man show tonight with that, but those are some things that I kind of wanted to talk about with it as well. It's going to be a shorter episode tonight, obviously, on 17th Stretch, but still some things I wanted to kind of keep us moving on as well as we talk through it here. I want to get to my main thing, as you guys know, my diamond notes real quick. Diamond notes here on a Friday night. Red Sox closer Aroldis Chapman agrees to a $13.3 million deal for 2026. He's been absolutely awesome for the Red Sox. We talked about him last week as well. The Rangers, Corey Seager feeling a little bit better, hopes to play again this season. And the Rangers are right there. They're right there in the race, wild card as well. Senga, whoa, Mets send him down, try to get him right. He looked like one of the best pitchers here in the National League just a couple of years ago. Now he's getting set down to get him right. Maybe before the playoffs here, they get a little run in along the way. So for me, the Seager thing is a huge deal for the Rangers. I mean, they can't win. He's their best offensive player. They need to have him in the lineup. Though the standings tell us they're right there, only 5 back, a game and a half back in the wild card. So they're right there to make some noise here in the American League. And I'll be curious to see if Bochy has that magic again with the team. Can they get a little late September magic and make something happen here with the Rangers? But I also think that Senga news is a pretty big deal as well. I wanted to get you guys up. Another big news from this week was the Astros situation with Valdez. I don't know. Like, he weighs off the guy when he gives the home run, and then he pegs the next batter. Here's him pegging the next batter. Here's AJ Przinsky's thoughts on it as we get to it here with it. Let me get it up on the stage here. Here we go. Here we go.
If there was even a thought of it being on purpose, there is an adult conversation that needs to be had, a grown man conversation. Like, you're trying to hurt me, and I'm on your team, bro. That ain't cool. I told pitchers this before. They'd be like, I didn't want to throw that pitch. Okay, shake your head, but it ain't my fault you threw a crappy pitch. That's on you. The first thing I would do is when he turned his back on me and I'm Salazar, I'm rifling that son gun right at his knee. Mm-hmm. I mean, as hard as I could throw it. There'd be a look for me, and I would be, throw whatever you want. I'll catch it. I'd be like, your stuff ain't that good. Throw whatever the hell you want. And then the inning's over, and I'd go to the manager, and I'd be like, me or him, get one of us out of the game, because this ain't flying. I know this. It's a bad look for the Astros. Here's the thing about Salazar. What can Salazar say? Salazar's a third catcher. What can he say? What can Salazar say? If he says anything, they're going to just shove him out the door. I don't know if he did it on purpose. He said he did it, but there's a lot of circumstantial evidence that looks like this could have been on purpose.
I mean, the thing that for me, when it comes to this situation, that's really confusing is there's pitch calm. There shouldn't be much confusion anymore. And the pitch before that, obviously Grissom for the Yankees is up, but the base is loaded. You can see the catcher in the back row wait, like step off type of deal. Valdez still throws it, gives up the grand slam. Next pitch, fastball right to the chest. The way he walked off the mound, Tells me something didn't smell right there in Houston, and that has me a little worried if I'm an Astros fan. Yeah, they're still up 3.5 games on the Mariners. Mariners aren't necessarily playing great baseball right now this last 10 days, but not a good look. I mean, if you're Houston, what are we doing, Valdez? What are we doing? And the third string catcher, imagine doing that to like a Posey or a Molina. They would probably literally fight you in the clubhouse, or they would probably say, hey, it's me or him. And that's what would happen with this situation. And I just thought it was such a Bush League thing that Valdez did. I mean, that was 100% on purpose. There's no doubt about it that was on purpose. No doubt about it. It's hard to, I mean, honestly, it's one of the one times I was kind of most shocked that I had seen something like that in a game. I really was stunned from the fact that Valdez did that. And again, he can say, "Oh, I wasn't on purpose," blah blah blah. I mean, come on, we're all calling BS on that. That was total garbage. Nothing was cool about that at all. It was totally messed up. Absolutely. So I don't know. We'll see with Houston if that's a non-factor here as we enter the dog days here of September, the last 3 weeks. But just not a good look going in the playoffs. Your best pitcher kind of looking like he's playing baby there a little bit, throwing at your catcher. I don't know, just not smart at all. So it'll be interesting what happens with them as they kind of keep moving forward here with the last 3 weeks. All right, flashback time. Here we go.
What a ride! The Cardinals are world champs in 2011.
All right, flashback. We can get a little bit of love here. It looks like with this week with who's the celebrity we saw here with Kobe Bryant and his dad in the stands here. But I like whenever I can get a Darryl Strawberry home run. He was thrown at earlier in this game versus the Phillies, and he hits an absolute bomb to center at the vet. This is a no doubter, folks. Let's see. This is way back here. Let's get this up here.
Fly ball deep to center. This is way out of this ballpark. Home run, Darryl Strawberry. After the knockdown, he answers the best way you can. And he woke him up.
There's Kobe.
Darryl Strawberry with his fly ball deep to center. This is way.
So kind of a cool thing there. Where obviously Kobe gets the love there with it. He's in the stands there. But Strawberry, what a swing he had. What a swing that guy had. One of the best. Whenever I get it, I don't think that might be our first Darryl Strawberry flash or throwback video of the week with him. Flashback video of the week with Strawberry on it. I mean, one of the better players in his era along the way. So I know it's been a quick show tonight, but I wanted to kind of just get it this week. I was a little under the weather earlier here, 7th inning stretch. We'll be back next week for a full go. I know we got football started up. We'll be back with you next Wednesday as well with it. A lot of things to get looking forward to this weekend. A lot of good series. So let's be on the lookout for that. Like I said, we have the Yankees and Blue Jays having a big series along the way. Mets and Reds have a big series. Rangers, Astros have a big series. So a lot of things kind of on the line a little bit here around Major League Baseball. But even with football starting, we'll be here with you on Variety Sports Network, 7th inning stretch. Let's get after it. We'll see you next week for a full show. Valdez, don't hit your catcher. It's best, man. We'll see you next week, everybody.